Hello everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining me today for part 3 of Extreme Paper Piecing. Today I'm going to incorporate the automation and show you how to use it in simulation mode. We're going to create our design and then we're going to save it. We're going to put it onto our tablet. So there's lots of steps. I'm going to jump in and we're going to start doing it. So I want to remind you of the design that I started with, that we were free motion quilting last time. This is the design here, and you can see that it's very simple. And what you would do is come around here and you do your loop and go to this corner, and you're doing that twice. So you're going all the way around and quilting the design. Well, it's not actually perfect. In free motion quilting, it's not a perfection, but we can make it a perfect design using the automation and creating this design in the automation. So as we're quilting, and so let's draw the design out and save it into the automation. So let's jump in and do that right now. So I have my laptop here, and you don't necessarily have to use this setup, but we're going to use my laptop in simulation mode. So I have my mouse here and my little mouse pad, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it in simulation mode. I'm not going to be connected to the automation, and that's how I'm going to create my design. This is the easiest and the best way to create designs when you have time. Don't do it when you're in a hurry, because it is a little bit of a process, but it is so much fun. And it actually, for me, this is a stress reliever. So I'm in my I'm going to jump over to my computer here, and notice I have my laptop, but I also have my tablet over here, where I'm going to save the design on a thumb drive and transfer it over to my tablet. And I've loaded my automation onto the laptop, which is awesome because we give you the ability to load it 3 separate devices. So I'm going to come over here to my little icon that says Quilter's Creative Touch right here. I'm going to double click on it. Okay, with your mouse, and it's going to ask me if I want to open in simulation mode, and I'm going to move my little mouse cursor over to yes, and I'm going to click on it. Just one click for this one. You don't have to double click, just one click. Okay, so it's going to load it in, and I'm going to jump into Pattern CAD because that's where I'm going to design. And Pattern CAD is only in the Pro software. So if you want the ability to create designs, then you'll have to upgrade from beginnings to the Pro. And so I'm just going to click on Pattern CAD, and this is my Pattern CAD screen. I want you to notice across the top we have File, Edit, Options, Layers, Background, Tools, and Help. Okay, along the top here we have our Select Design, and we're not going to use that right now until we save. And then our Save Pattern, our Undo and Redo, and then our Toolbox. And this here is to enlarge the design or zoom in and zoom out, or you can make it fit. This is a nice little one. This is Copy, and notice that as I place my cursor over each of these little icons, it tells you exactly what it's going to do. So it says Copy Selected immediately, and then it just copies your little line or your design. Then we have Optimize, which is really important, our little red X, and then our Print. Because when you design, you may sometimes want to print that design and use it as a pattern on your quilt. So let me jump down over here. We have our nodes. This is where you can turn on and off the nodes. You can show them or not show them. Sometimes in a design, it's easier to see what's going on without the nodes there. The nodes are the little things that you use to manipulate your lines, okay? Then you have trim lines that'll show your trim lines, show disconnection in the trim lines, so you can turn that on and off. You have mirrors, which we're going to use today. We have Snap to Grid. Now, if you're making straight designs, like straight lines, and you want to snap it to the grid lines, that's a great way to have nice, straight, crisp lines, okay? And Snap Selected, this will draw 2 nodes together. Snap Ends, okay? And then Apply Mirrors, and then we have our layers. So we're going to use the layers kind of too. at one time or the other to focus on a background or a design. And then over here, off to the right side, you have your pattern, draw and edit, your mirrors, draw and edit, your easy. So we're going to use the easy mode. And then down under that, you have the different line types. So we have lines, splines, arcs, and parabolas. And then we have our node spacing. Sometimes you want them spaced further apart rather than closer together. Other times, to make a nice smooth line, you'll want the nodes really close together. And then here you have remove last and undo remove. Now, we could check this here, but I'm not going to today. Continuous line, okay? If you want it to be continuous, go ahead and do that. It makes it a little easier, but you run into some problems. So for right now, I'm not going to do it, okay? So let's jump in and start creating our design. So I'm going to move my little cursor over here to EZ. And I want to make a hexagon shape, and I'm going to use my flakes to do it. I love the flakes, okay? It's just a quick, easy way to design and create. And so notice right here, I have 6 stems, or branches is what they call them, branching off. And this one right here is a little darker. And it's because it's the one that we're going to draw off of to design. And notice it's darker because it's the one that mirrors. And the mirrors are going to reflect for each of those branches or designs. So I'm going to start here on this corner here. All right. And to make it easy, I am going to draw using a spline. I like the spline because you're able to use the handles to create your curves. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on this outer edge here, okay? And I'm going to click down on it, and I'm just going to bring it forward right here to the center, okay? Now, there's a line there. You can see that there's a line, but I can't manipulate it because I don't have the handles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on my space bar. And notice, there are my little handles, okay? So what I'm going to do is pull this bottom handle that's closer to the center up. And how I do that is I left click on my mouse, okay? And I just pull it up. And notice, look what it's doing. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to pull it up just like that. Okay. Now I want to make that same line. Now you could left click on this little handle here and pull it out a little more if you want to make it look more like our design. Okay, so, that's my design. So I'm going to just click on using my space bar one more time, and it's going to unhighlight those two nodes. And now I'm going to draw another line. So I'm going to come up over here where it says under pattern and tap on draw again, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing. This time I'm going from the same spot, but I'm going to kind of move it to right here, okay? Just halfway so that they meet. And I'm going to tap on my space bar and then click on my handles. And now this time I'm going to pull it up and out like this, or I'm going to come around. You could do whatever you want. There's lots of different ways to do it, okay? That's kind of cool. Just keep playing with it. You can move it like this, or see, notice that my handle went up and off the screen. All I need to do is to pull it back down. Okay, you could do it like that. That's kind of cool too. However, that's not really the design that I had in mind. So what I'm going to do is tap. I just want to show you what you can do. You can tap on your undo, and it's going to take you through all your steps. And now we can start all over. We can tap on draw, click on draw, and then we're going to go from the center, from this point, and I'm going to go all the way into right here. Okay? Okay. And now I'm going to tap on my space bar, and now I can pull it, Oh. Just like that. And then I want to pull on this one right here. And notice it's looking a little bit more like my design, but now it's more floral. So maybe what I did is I pulled this one up too high, and I shouldn't have done that, but this is where you get to play till you get the design just the way you want it, okay? So, I'm okay with that. It's probably not what let's see. So I'm just going to unselect it, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this little, I'm going to edit, and I'm going to come right here and click on this, and notice I have those two handles. So this is my first line. It's not this line here. And I am going to make some adjustments because I don't want that to be as deep. All right. And I'm going to play with this just a little bit more. Okay. And then I'm going to tap on my space bar again, take it away. And now I can work on this next one. So I'm going to edit that one, still edit, and I'm going to click on these two. No, I don't want to click on that one. I want to pull this one down. Okay, so this is looking a little bit more. I want to pull it all the way down to that point there. And now I want to click on that one so I can bring it in. And now it's looking a little more like the design I had in mind. There we go. And now we'll bring that up. Okay. And just keep playing with it till you get it just the way you want it. You could do it just like that. Come in and then have it look like that, or we can bring it up and over the design. That's a little bit more like my design I created, so let's just go with that, okay? And I'm going to tap on my space bar. Now, here's the fun part, okay? So I want to apply all my mirrors, okay? Because when I go into optimize, I just have a couple of different lines, okay? And notice I have my start up here and my stop down here. I want it to start here at this end. So let's click on that. And click on that. Okay. So hopefully that won't mess me up. And we're going to say okay. And now I want to apply my mirrors. And now you can see all the reflections. You can see all these nodes. Now when I come into optimize, this is how I'm going to create my design. Okay? So I want to zoom in on this optimize. So notice across the top here, I have my zoom in and zoom out. I want to make it larger because I want to see what the lines are doing so I can make the path from one point to the other continuous. And that's what you do in optimization. So let's make it a little larger, okay? And I'm going to start down here. So this is my number 1 right here. But I want to make this one right here number 2. But it's 24. So I'm going to click this dot and make it number 2, okay? So now 1 and 2 are connected. And this whole thing will be 3, okay? And I'm going to go around and continuously click. So watch, I'm going to click on it. It's the next one. And I'm just going to continue going around and doing that for this inner section, okay, right here. So this is going to be number 7. And I'm going to do this one, number 8. And then this one's going to be number 9. And then this one here is going to be 10, 11, and 12. And we're going to make this one 13. And that one's 14. This one's going to be 15, and that's what I do. I keep going around 17. And then we're going to do this one here, 18 and 19. See? So notice that I have all of my little trim lines gone. There's one right here, but we're going to say okay, and we'll get rid of that in a minute. And we're going to check for breaks. We're going to get rid of my breaks and animate my stitching, because if I got rid of all my breaks all at once, I might have a little line sewn in there, and I just want to animate the stitching, so I want to see how it's going and moving. So let me zoom out so you can see the whole picture. I'm going to tap on animate stitching. Notice how it goes down that first line. I want to say yes. I want to remove that. Yes, 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 and yes, yes, yes. Just keep going all the way through. It's going to remove all these breaks. But then when you get to, do you wish to connect the first and last points? We don't want to do that, because it will connect the first and last points, and we want to go, no. Well, on this one I could have said yes, because my first and last points could have been connected, so that was the only time that you would want to do that, okay? So there's my design, and now I can go in and say okay. Okay, and then I can go in and do some more editing if I want, okay? So, but this is okay for right now. Let's go in and save it. So I'm going to tap on this little save button here, and I'm going to save it. Now I'm not going to save it in my continuous line designs. Look at the file folders and make sure you're saving it in the correct folder. So if you want to do a whole new file folder, you can make a new one, but I'm just going to select blocks, because it really is a block design. And I'm going to tap in the file name right here. And when I do that, my little touch keyboard will pop up, and then I can type in, because I'm using my laptop, I want to put Tuesdays with Grace version, because I've done 4 or 5, 3 if I want to use that. And then I'm going to tap on or click on enter with my cursor. And once you see the name in the little file name window, then you can click on save, and then it's saved. So now I'm going to go into select and sew and show you the design. Because I'm still in simulation mode, and don't worry about this, because I can set my safe area as large as I want, okay? So it's 150, and I'm going to click on OK, and 30 OK. And then I'm going to go and find my design. I just want to show you where it says Tuesdays with Grace. They're all alphabetical. Here they are. Here are all the ones that I made. They're very similar to each other, but there's a lot you can do. Here's my version 3, my version 2, and then my first one. And let's do number 2, because I really like that one. It turned out really nice. And so there's that one. But this is how you save it, and then we'll want to sew it out. So let's jump in and save it onto our little flash drive. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in my little flash drive that I have, and so I can save my design onto it, and then I can show you how to import a design onto your tablet. So I've done that, and notice I already have a few on there. So when I save it, I just want to be able to save the correct one. So I'm going to come over here and find my Windows SSD, and then I'm going to click on that. And notice that this is where your Windows is, where you've saved, where you've loaded in your QuiltCAD. And so that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to open up the version that I saved it in. I'm going to click on my patterns, and I'm going to scroll down, because I saved it in my block folder. And then I'm going to scroll down and find my alphabetical Tuesdays with Grace version, and we'll just take all of them. So I'm going to hold on my shift key, okay? And then I'm going to click on this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And if I hold on my shift key, it's going to allow me to click on all of those because they're right by each other. Then I'm going to right click on my mouse and I'm going to copy them. And now I've copied them, I can go to my USB drive D, that's my flash drive, and I can tap on it and then I can paste them. And notice that's where they are. So now I've saved them and now I can take my little thumb drive out and I can put it onto my tablet. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So notice I'm not connected to to my automation. I am going to take this and I'm going to highlight all of them. And I'm just going to tap on them. It's a little easier to highlight, and then we've highlighted and then we're going to hold on it and we're going to copy this little section, and now it's on the same drive as it was on my laptop. It's my USB drive right here. So my local disk drive, and that's where it's at. So I'm going to tap on my Powered by QuiltCAD, and I'm going to open it up. I'm going to go into my patterns, and I'm going to come down here to my block designs, right here, open it up, and then I'm just going to hold my finger down, and I'm going to paste them all in there, and they should be there. There they are, and then I can get out, okay? They're all copied and pasted. Now, when it's a Grace pattern file, you can't import it because it's already imported into a Grace pattern file format. So you have to copy and paste it onto your tablet using your flash drive. So just know that. And now let's go and hook up to the automation. I'm just going to close my laptop here, all right? And I'm going to unplug everything, and so I can get connected to the automation and sew it out for you. I've made all my adjustments that I needed to, and now I'm connected to the automation. All my USB drive is plugged in, and so now I can double tap on my icon on my tablet, and now it's loading up. And it asked me, because I was in simulation mode, it asked me if I want to stay in simulation mode. No, I don't. So I want to say okay. And it's asking if your sewing machine needle is up. You want to double check and make sure it is, and then say okay. And now it's connected to the automation. And it's just doing that to make sure that it has free movement. I'm going to say cancel. And now I can come into my select and sew. And I want to set my safe area. Very important because I'm just using select and sew. I want to go all the way up and off to the top left. And because I'm just going to sew in a small area, I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to come down partially over here. But now I want to show you the correct way. So let's go all the way across. And I want to go all the way across and then down, okay? But you'll want to go further, but my computer's back there and I don't want to take time to move it, so just say, okay. So then I've set my safe area. I want to scroll down because remember, we put our designs in this file folder, so I'm going to come down here and find my Tuesdays with Grace designs, and there they are, the hex, the practice, and the version 3. So let's do the 2. I'm going to use 1 point center placement, and that will help me center it and size it. 4 points not going to work because I have more points, and this is a hexagon design and it's not 4 points, okay? So I want to come up here to my placements, and I want to change it to 1 point center. And it moves that node to the center section. So that's how I'm going to align it and make sure. Now, I also want to size it correctly before I sew it, but I want to make sure that I don't sew outside this parameter of this block. So what I'm going to do is use my marking tool to mark around the section of the block to make sure I have a hexagon on my screen. So as I'm sizing it, I can size it the correct size. So I want to come down to marking tool in my toolbox or your plugins, and I'm going to start up here at this corner here, and I'm going to just mark around my hexagon, going from one point to the other, all the way. And this way, I will know if it's going to sew outside, and I can size it appropriately. And because my hexagons are all the same size, then I can save that design as this size, okay? All right, so there's my hexagon. And my center is going to be right here, just about. And so I'm going to move my needle so I think it's about the center. And I'm going to come back up here to my placements, and I'm going to tap on this node here, okay? Notice how large it is, and it's going to sew outside the edges. So I want to size it, and I want to make sure that as I'm sizing it, that the lock is on, because I want all the way around to size proportionally. And if you unlock it, it's going to unlock the horizontal and vertical, and you're going to be sizing them in different increments. So make sure the lock is on when you're sizing it. And I want to size it smaller, so I'm just going to adjust it in. I'm just going to keep adjusting it till these little points get into the little points on my hexagon. Ooh, that's just close. Now I could zoom in to see. So let's zoom in and see what it does, okay? Make it larger. And use the tools that are available for you. See, notice that right here at the top, it's going to sew out just a little bit. And I might be okay with that. But, you know, all of these corners are just right. So I might want to pull it down just a tad, because I have to place it again. And notice that it's coming even closer, just a little bit more. There we go. And I'm just going to keep doing that till I have it just right, okay? So now it's going to sew out, and I don't care if it sews out just a little bit, but maybe I want to size it just one more. There we go. And then I want to make sure I'm placing it again. Oops, see, it moved up on me. And you just keep doing it till you get it just right. Okay, so I'm good with that. And so I want to make sure that I pull my bottom thread up. I think this one's going to sew from this direction out. But let's go in and quilt, because we've placed it. And we'll see where it's going to start. And then I'll use my single stitch to pull up. See, it's going to start right over there. And look how nicely it's going to sew in the area. And notice I did my basting and everything. I'm not worried about these. These basting stitches will come out. It's just a real simple design. So I'm going to use my single stitch, and I'm going to tap it again to pull my bottom thread up, and then I'm just going to tap on quilt or sew. And let's let it tie off and do its thing. And much fun it is to design your own designs? And last but not least, there we go. That was pretty close. Now I got a little off up here. I'm not worried about it because as I do the design and all the others, nobody will even notice that. But you can even make it more perfect. You quilt how you want to quilt. It's just fun to have options. So thank you for joining me today. And I just want to mention one thing, that as you're basting these down, make sure you start with the center ones first and then baste out from that way. It was just easier to line them up and tack them down when I started with the center and worked the center section out. It just made them line up that much easier. But it's a lot of fun and it's very easy to do. Not a lot of time either, just effort on your part to learn the automation and use it the way you want to use it to become even a better quilter. And I just want to stop and say thank you to all of you. You have helped me become a better quilter myself through your questions, through your motivation, for encouraging me on, and for allowing me to teach you. I really appreciate it, and thank you for joining me. I can't wait to show you the finished product and everything that I've done, and I will explain the whole process to you and what I do because I love quilting. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi everybody, welcome. Thank you for watching me and bearing with me as I work through the process. You know, creating your own designs and using them on with the automation is a lot of fun. But you don't have to have the automation to create your own designs. You can use a laser, you can use ruler work. I know one of you was telling was it Jennifer that she could use and perfect that, and way to go, because you can. There's a lot of ways to quilt and so many options out there. So thank you for watching. That was a little bit of a process, and it doesn't always work out as easy as it did. So I just wanted to review the what's on sale this month, and then talk about next week, because we're going to give away some awesome giveaways. And so I want to remind you about the downloadable patterns so that you can go and pick and choose. Who doesn't like a free pattern? Even if you don't make it, it's just to add to our collection. So make sure that you're going to the website, registering for Tuesdays with Grace, and you know, then you have the option to use those free patterns. I want to talk about this month's promotions. We have 35% off the light bars. We all need great lighting, so, and that's the 5, 10, and 12 foot. It's a great time to purchase. Gets dark outside earlier at night, and we want to quilt as long as we can. If you're a late night quilter or early morning quilter, you need that light, okay? Then we have our 15-inch machines on sale as well. So make sure you go to the website, check them out. And with the 15-inch machines, you get this little accessory pack combo. You get the ruler base, the ruler foot set, and the needles and the quilt clips and rulers. I love ruler work. I'm going to show you lots of ways to quilt throughout the year. I am so excited. And then we have our hoop frame and our cutie frame on sale at great prices. So if you want to get into quilting and you've thought about it, and some of you want the automation, I have exciting news, because next week we are going to do some giveaways, and they are going to be certificates for you to pick and choose. So it's up to, how much was it? It was, we're doing 2 $500 gift cards, a $1,000 gift card, and a $3,000 gift card. So it's $5,000 worth of gift cards for you to pick and choose what you want to purchase. And so I know some of you have been wanting the automation. Maybe you just want to upgrade your frame. Maybe you just want to get into a longer arm sewing machine. And next week, we're going to be giving those away. So join us next week as well. I want to talk about In February, what's going on as well, we have, first of all, we're going to introduce the cells next month. And so next week, we're going to introduce the cells. It's going to be on our 21-inch sewing machine and the automation. So a great, God, I love our 21. It just gives you that extra area to quilt with. I love the 19, but I'm also very fond of our 15. Just so many ways and so easy to quilt with them. Then I'm going to introduce you to a new quilt pattern, my Hartley Quinn. So it's an ode to the days that when I was in high school, I read a few Harlequin romance novels. And so, yeah, it's kind of an ode to those. When I got married, I didn't need to read them anymore. So if any of you have read them out there, it's just a nod to that. So it's part 1 and part 2. I'm going to show you how to cut it out. We're going to learn a new way of cutting and using our kite ruler. So I'm really excited about that. And then part 2, I'm going to show you how to quilt it. Actually, for part 2, I have designed some patterns, some designs that you can either free motion or you can use with the automation. So either one, and it's going to be great because I had a good time doing it and making them. So very excited about that. And then there's lots of other ways to quilt and great ideas, and I just really appreciate you guys joining me. So I have a giveaway. So we're going to do 2 of these, okay? So I went and I pulled our 60-inch straight cutter. It's easy to take the blade on and off, and I'm also giving you a 60-inch blade. So we're going to give away 2 of these, and we're going to pull from our platform. We're going to pull from our YouTube and Grace platform and our Facebook platform, and Bryant is going to pick. And then if you are the winner, I want you to email me. Okay, so Janelle, what was it? Janelle Hinton, you have won. So this 60-inch straight cutter and a 60-inch blade, and I need you to email me, Karla with a K, Karla at graceframe.com, and send me your address, okay? And then, who's the next winner? He's looking for one. All right, Rami McCoy, you have won a 60-inch straight cutter and a 60-inch blade. I didn't want to leave you bladeless if you've never used them, so I put that in there as well because I'm a quilter and I like to cut. So anyway, email me, Karla with a K, Karla at graceframe.com. I love hearing from you. I love helping you quilt. I get lots of questions about how should I do this or how should I do that. Send them my way. If I don't have an answer, I really will work hard to get you an answer. I know you want more help files and more help along the way. Just let me know. So very excited to be here today, and thank you for joining me. I couldn't do it without you. You guys are my stalwart, devoted, and I really appreciate it. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next week. You want to make sure that you invite anybody that you can because it's a great time, great giveaways. So I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.